Hi, everybody. It is Craig, Robert, and Nick today for your Friday Docs Daily. We're here every day, 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time, and on Saturday at 11 o'clock Eastern Standard Time. So if you haven't done so, hit that thumbs up, hit the subscribe button so you don't miss out on all the stuff. We want to say thank you. We hit the 1 million view mark for the first time ever in a 30-day period. That's all. Obviously, we did a lot of the hard work giving you guys the content, but you guys following us along, we want to say thank you. We're going to have something special next week, a special discount to celebrate it. We don't want to do it on a Friday just because, not everybody's listening in on a Friday. So we'll get you starting for next week. We've got something special for you. But before we get to it, though, we always have the special stuff. If you go over, you get the free $60 account. You just use this link, docsports.com/free60. If you're a new customer, you get that to use however you like on the website. It could be individual plays, $30 for a day. Or if you want to buy towards like a week pass, it's $99 for a sport. Also, don't forget about our YouTube premium products, all different kinds, something for everybody, anywhere from $4.99 a month all the way up to $50 a month. Click the link to get the details. Okay, boys, it's Friday, which means we've got football. Of course, it came back last night, but just really the NFL, like college football games. Whoever's doing the schedule on the college football Thursday,
they're just mailing it in.
Yeah, like they were like, okay, what game would nobody want to watch? Let's put it on Thursday and see if someone will watch it.
Just the full-blown degens. Yeah, I mean, Lenny brought it up yesterday on the show. He was like, so South Alabama, Georgia State. I was like, oh, you want to talk about the Denver Nuggets and Golden State Warriors? Oh, okay. Yeah. Like, let's get that.
I mean, I get it that it's Thursday night football and it's a monster, and it's like, you're not having like this big crowds, but there's some people, I don't know who they are, but I know there are out there that do not like the NFL and that love college football. So for a college football like super fan, like I remember the days, Nick, you might be a little too youngest, like Boise played every Thursday night. Like it literally was. And they would play some bangers. That one, it was LeGarrette Blount. Remember when he hit the guy after? LeGarrette Blount against the Oregon versus Boise. Boise won, and LeGarrette Blount punched the guy after the game.
Awesome. Yep.
It was on a midweek game. So obviously
that used to be a big thing for Virginia Tech, right?
I was about to say Frank Beamer started that one at Virginia Tech Thursday night.
Yeah.
I mean, it's just like I think I know it's changed because like the Boise thinks they're too good now to play on Thursday nights. But when these teams are trying to build their status and their programs, they would play on Thursday night. And I think teams like the ACC that have even the Big Ten, like there's teams that you put them on a Thursday night, it'll be a big thing. You put them against Saturday at noon against all the big boys of college football. They just, they're not going to get national rankings. They'll get their fans. So that's my little rant. I do think there's some good college football, but I want to talk baseball first and foremost. Game 1 of the World Series tonight. Dodgers big favorite here, deserving. Blake Snell has been unbelievable. Robert, what's your take here? First of all, do the Blue Jays have the chance to win the series? And then is there any way they can get to Blake Snell? Because he's been elite this year.
Look, it's baseball and it's the World Series, and they're not here accidentally. So of course they have a chance to win the series. They're not going to win the series. I mean, we talked about this whether it was last Friday or the Friday before. It's like the Dodgers are obviously the best team. They're obviously going to win the World Series. Like that's just going to happen. So we all just have to embrace that. I don't think that minus 150 is a bad price, to be honest with you. I thought that money line would be a lot higher, frankly. Like I would put all of these games at 175 or higher if I were the odds makers and force the public to take Toronto. But no, 4-1, 4-2 series. And that's that.
Gentleman's sweep. That's what I said. Gentleman's sweep, 5 games, I thought. I just like Nick, if you looked at like just the starters, and that's how I always start every baseball matchup. You just go starter to starter. The Blue Jays look like they have probably a disadvantage in every game.
Yeah, no question about it. I mean, the Dodgers, I think we all think they're going to win the World Series. How I would bet this, though, before this series would start, Craig, you just said it. I would take the Dodgers in 5 games to win the World Series here. You're going to get plus value money. And now I would attack in these first 2 games for the Toronto Blue Jays. I would attack the Blue Jays on plus value. That you're going to get both games plus value here, most likely, if the Toronto Blue Jays don't end up surprising game 1 and winning this. So I would bet the Toronto Blue Jays here, but I would take the Los Angeles Dodgers in 5 games at home to win the World Series. That's how I would bet it. You're going to get good value here early. Toronto's hyped. They haven't had a World Series here in a very, very, very long time in Toronto. So, the place is going to be rocking, and you have a rookie here on the mound. This is very surprising in my eyes. Yeah, he had a great, what was that, Game 7 start there for Trey Savage. And he gets to start here again. I mean, you look at him, he was just playing minor league baseball April 8th. Now he's pitching game 1 here in the World Series for the Toronto Blue Jays. Obviously, a lot on his shoulders here. I obviously lean towards the Dodgers in this game 1 and in the series in 5.
I like a little prop action. I like Blake Snell over. I think it's, let me get the exact number, 6.5 strikeouts at plus 102 at FanDuel. He's had what, 9, 9, and 10 this playoffs? 10, 9, and 9 going backwards. So Brewers, Phillies, Reds. And 2 of those, the last 2 were on the road too. So it's like he's just been, like this is what I thought Blake Snell was going to be when he left Tampa Bay. We've kind of seen some ups and downs and injuries and that kind of stuff. But he's been pitching great. I like him over strikeouts tonight. I thought the Blue Jays were waving the white flag in this one by throwing the rookie out there. I think they were like, listen, we're not beating Blake Snell most likely. Why put one of our best starters up against him? And that's not, and so we can pay him in game 2 and maybe we get game 2. That's kind of how I saw that they're doing. Maybe that's not the case, but it just feels like that as a, like they had options here and they chose a rookie to start game 1 of the World Series against Blake Snell. So now let's talk a little NBA action tonight. Big card. We're day 3 of the NBA. Is that right? Tuesday? Yeah. Day 4. So we've had Tuesday, we had just 2 games. Last night we had 2 games. We had the Big 12 games on Tuesday. Obviously the news of the Terry Rozier and Chauncey Billups and Damian Jones, like that dominated the news cycle yesterday. What should have been talking about Wemby going for a big win, it was kind of like, oops, now we don't even talk about that. Robert, how do you attack tonight? And does that there's 2 teams affected. Obviously, you got Portland, maybe not as much the Lakers, but Miami and Portland. How does this affect your handicapping on these games and teams?
It really doesn't. Look, we can argue about the value of NBA head coaches, okay? But I think that Portland's going to be just fine without Chauncey Billups. Is it a little bit of a distraction? These things cut both ways, though. Like sometimes it's a distraction and teams get off kilter. Sometimes teams rally around this kind of stuff, and you get generally a better effort. So, I didn't even look at either one of those games, frankly, just because I don't want to deal with that. I thought there was better value on the board. I do have a 7-unit play out there tonight on a game that I think is going to be a goddamn bloodbath. I feel really good about it. I hit my 7-unit on just a vintage Ferrigno moment on Wednesday. I hit my 7-unit play and my 4-unit play that day. My 2 biggest plays, easy winners, still had a losing day because I pumped out a bunch of shitty 2-unit plays that all lost. So no, I think there's better games on the board. I don't throw your money into a situation where you're not sure how these people are gonna react. It's already hard enough to do this. You're just adding like another layer of uncertainty to those bets. And there's enough other games that you don't have to bet on those games.
The positive in at least the Heat is Rozier didn't play in game 1 anyway. So it's like we saw what this team was without him. So it's not like you have to make any okay, who's getting his minutes and we saw that already.
That's what I mean. I don't think think it's going to impact either team. They've had to answer a bunch of more questions about
and the Rozier, just to be clear, Rozier was not with the Heat when these issues happened in the past. That was 2 or 3 years ago when he was with the Hornets at the end of that season, I think 2022 or 2023. So don't think how did the Heat allow this? It had nothing to do with the Heat other than this guy's playing.
Great timing by the FBI. By the
way. Yeah. Start of the season. Let's bang them all.
They knew what they were doing. They don't
Yep.
The administration has no love for the NBA and for its
Well,
players.
I also think this had a lot to do with sending a message, because I don't think it's done, to be honest. There are, you don't think this is it? Like, there's way more guys that I'm sure. Now, is it to the extent of this? Maybe, maybe not. Maybe it's not like they're necessarily passing the stuff, but you just can't tell me that guys at the end of the bench aren't telling their buddies, like, hey, I got a little tweak. I ain't going to be able to play more than 5 or 6 minutes tonight. Play the under of my props.
I don't see. I completely disagree with you. I don't think so. I don't think that enough guys are willing to jeopardize their entire careers for some.
And they might not even know they're doing it. To be honest.
Like that. Like, these are low. A lot of these are low limit bets. Like, that's the thing about.
Well, that's how they got caught. They weren't low limits. $300,000.
That's my point. It's not worth it to bet the amount of money that would be worth risking your career. But the minute that you bet that amount of money, you're caught. You're going to get caught. Like, that's what I talked about with Raphael yesterday, is that my takeaway was, number one, I just don't care. Like, I'm not as concerned about, it's a good story, but like, I'm more worried about if Lamar Jackson's going to play this week, right? Like, that's number one. Number two, my takeaway is the system works. The system works. They caught these guys.
Yeah, they had them before the game started, both times.
Right. They know.
They knew.
The books know. The books are assuming everyone is cheating, so they're always on the lookout for cheats. You're not going to get away with this stuff.
Props especially, because first of all, people don't bet really big amounts on unders in many sports. So as soon as you get that, you got their attention. And then when a guy checks out of the game on that bet, dude, it's going to be the super, super flag. Like, it already was in, and then it was like, oh, Andy checked out, didn't play the rest of the game.
I mean, if you're going to do that, he's got to at least make it look good. Like, get
play the whole
close
game
to the number, you know what I mean? Get like 2 points away from the number and then have something happen, or get kicked out of the game for, like, I don't know, might like make it look good, but just wasn't a good plan. Again, the system works. You can't cheat this stuff.
Yeah, I mean, the Porter, they got caught right away. Back when, with, of course, Toronto and the younger Porter, by the way, not Michael Porter, his younger brother, right? Younger brother, I think it is.
How far back are they going with this, though? Is it 3 years?
Well, the 2022, I believe, was the Rozier one.
Okay.
And then this Chauncey Billups thing is, I think, a little bit more of a
they said
Dante Jones, because coaches actually have way more say than, because a player can only affect himself unless he recruits other players. But a coach, I can just not play guys. I can just be like, that guy's not playing. He's one of my better players. He's one of, or I let these guys just run up.
Now we're getting off into tinfoil hat area, though. Like, that wasn't what he got.
Conspiracy theory.
It was poker stuff.
Well,
I get what you're saying.
When you read, I haven't read it all, but I had a little birdie that texted me and that said, listen, if you read the whole things, not only we got a poker games, they did say, hey, number 8 that played in the league from such and such year to such and such year, all stuff that coaches in Colorado or in Oregon, like it's Chauncey Billups, like, gave information as well. If you're that into the mob, obviously, but let's talk NBA today. I think
7-year play.
I want to know what you guys like. You have a 7-year play. I have a 7-year play. There's like 5 guys with big plays tonight in the NBA, FYI. So go over to the website. I think 5, right, Robert? I think maybe 4 or 5. So go check them out. What do you guys, Nick? Let's start with you. The Lakers. I mean, Luka played unbelievable. Like, he did. Luka, if you think Luka goes like that, you think win. They still lose. Now they face a Timberwolves team that has had their number, knocked them out of the playoffs, right? I believe they knocked them out in 5 or 4 it was. 5. What do you like that game tonight?
I love Minnesota. I'm all over Minnesota Timberwolves team, especially without LeBron James. Yeah, Luka could go for 43 again, but again, they lost against the Golden State Warriors there. You need help. You got Reeves, obviously, but 2 guys aren't going to stop here, Ant-Man, and this Timberwolves defense here. They play defense, not necessarily as hard as the Warriors, but I would say Timberwolves do play good defense. I think Ant-Man comes into Los Angeles like he does time in and time again, and he puts on a show. I love the Minnesota Timberwolves here. You don't have LeBron James, obviously. Luka, you could go for 50, and I guarantee you the Minnesota Timberwolves still find a way to edge this one out here in Los Angeles, Craig.
How can the Lakers win, Robert? Does it have to just be high scoring?
They can't win. They're not good. They're not a good team. This is just like vintage. This is going to be vintage Luka. He'll win the scoring title. He'll put up all these numbers. The guy's a loser. Like, I've seen this show before. Like Carmelo Anthony, Tracy McGrady, even Allen Iverson. Like so many guys, Russell Westbrook, that put up huge numbers, but their teams don't win. Like Trae Young for his entire career. Like they can't win. They're not very good. When he was with Dallas, they constructed that team around him. They were like, okay, this is what you do. This is what you do well, but you can only carry us so far. How can we like structure this around you that we can win? And it worked, and it did, and they made the finals. So now he goes to Los Angeles. He's still the same player, playing the same style of ball dominant basketball, but he has like half of the talent around him. The team isn't built. They don't defend. They can't protect the basket. And without LeBron James, like you said, like just him and Austin Reeves, like get out of here with that. Like there's only maybe 8 teams in the league that they're going to beat like that. Like, sure, he's going to have some magical games where he scores 58 and just wills them to victory, but they are not a playoff caliber team. They are not good. They're not good at all.
How about, I thought DeAndre Ayton was absolutely terrible in opening night. I'm like, this was your big free agent signing?
Right.
Like, are you? I would rather play Jackson Hayes. At least Jackson Hayes, you don't have to throw in the ball. He's just rim running, playing defense. And when he gets a rebound, he throws it back out to Luka and LeBron.
To me, the Lakers are the least interesting of the two Los Angeles teams tonight. I am much more interested in the Clippers. Like, how the hell did they get bombed? They didn't just lose on opening night. They got bombed on opening night by Utah, a team that's not even trying. Like, Utah might win 16 games this year. Like, they're not even trying to win. And they blew out this Clippers team that you look at 1-10. You're like, wow, this is going to be a pretty good regular season
Healthy,
team.
too. Finally healthy, too.
Exactly. They're 9.5-point favorites again tonight against Phoenix, another one of the weaker teams in the NBA right now. How do they respond to that? Is it going to take a while for these guys to gel? Or are these guys all just past their prime like clowns and it's just going to be kind of a clown show? You talk about distractions, like everything they've had to deal with Kawhi Leonard. Like for me, the Clippers are a way more interesting story than the Lakers. The Lakers are just going to be bad, and it's just going to be Luka like being a ball hog and doing his Luka thing. I don't care about that. Like the Clippers,
can we get just a camera on LeBron James all game? Because it looked like he wasn't even at the game. He was just like standing there, like
doesn't care.
Like he is so unhappy that Luka's taken his spot in LA. It's like, dude, trade the guy where else he would like to go, back to Cleveland, wherever it is, because he isn't going to help you win this year. One, he's going to be out for a little while. But I think he's only out because he's like, listen, I ain't going to fucking do this. We ain't going to win.
I have no beef with LeBron James as a human being, as a basketball player, or any of this. But like, this is the first time since he was like 16 years old that he isn't getting what he wants, and he's going to pout his way through the season. Like the new ownership group came in. Don't forget, like the Lakers sold, and they have a new ownership group. And the new ownership group was like, yeah, we're not even going to try to compete for a championship. Like, I know this is your last year, LeBron, or whatever it is, but we're not trying to like sell out to get you another ring. We are building for the future here, and you're not really a part of the future here. And it's like a kid being told no for the first time in 20 years. And that's how he's going to act this whole season. And
the problem is that when he takes up $50-some million of the salary cap.
Right.
That's 3 shooters that they need to surround Luka with. Because if you have Luka, you need guys that can defend, and you guys that can shoot threes. That's what Dallas had. They just had a bunch of guys.
Yeah.
And need defense.
And size.
Luka doesn't play that.
LeBron doesn't play defense. Luka doesn't play defense. I will say this. Skinny Luka was a lot more agile, and he did stay in front of Steph Curry at times and made him shoot over top of him. But his effort level, let's be honest, is going to be on the offensive end. You need guys around him. How do you do that when you're basically playing mid-level exception guys or just old veterans because you can't afford anybody else because you got LeBron James on the team?
But this is
and Austin Reeves, too, takes up a lot of money.
LeBron is the problem for why they can't move forward until he's gone. But I got to tell you, like, this is why I'm an anti-Luka guy, and I say he's a loser and all this stuff. Like, LeBron James, not at this point in his career, and LeBron James is an extreme example because he's one of the greatest players of all time. But LeBron James is the type of guy that you can take him and put him on any team, anywhere, at any time, and he can fit. Luka, you can't do that. You have to put him on a team, and then you got to build absolutely everything around him. Like, absolutely everything has to be perfect around Luka for your team to be successful. That, like, I don't want guys like that on my team. Like, you're a loser. Like,
Kind of reminds me of James
you're
Harden.
not that good at basketball if that's how it is. Like, you have to have absolutely everything has to be perfect around you for you to succeed versus guys where, like, just go over and play on that team. Okay, and now that team's better. Like, get out of here with that.
He kind of reminds me of the Houston Rockets James Harden, whereas like he's so ball dominant that you like he's not that guy anymore. He's a much better player now that he's like kind of past his prime, that he doesn't have to be so ball dominant on the Clippers. I thought last year was probably his best year since the MVP year. No one talked about it because the Clippers weren't very good because Kawhi and everybody was so banged up. But Luka's just he's a beast. Like, if you want to play one-on-one basketball, I don't know many people beating him. I did think, what did you think last night of the Warriors-Nuggets game, Nick? I don't know if you saw any of that. And now we've got the Warriors in a back-to-back spot at that Portland team that we talked about. What was your opinion last night? And then what do you think of that game tonight, maybe?
Yeah, I mean, obviously the Warriors, they're looking good out of their first 2 games here, but they're going to be a little tired, I feel like, especially going into Portland here on the road. Their favorite -2.5. And Portland Trailblazers, they're dealing with a lot of stuff. They're dealing with a lot of stuff, obviously, the head coach, and they just lost to the Timberwolves there at home by 4 points. But I think they will keep this one competitive. I don't necessarily think Curry's going to get as much minutes, I should say. He'll probably get a little rest here in tonight's game. But I like Portland. I like Portland to get this one at home, get themselves a nice win here, just because these Golden State Warriors, they just played in double overtime there against a Denver team that is high pace.
Single overtime though.
Single overtime.
The first game last night was double, which is crazy. Both games last night went overtime. And by the way, the Thunder first 2 games have both went double overtime. When do they play next? I'm guessing they play tomorrow. That dude, I know they're super deep, but like I always say, Steph Curry's 37. Jimmy Butler's, is he 36 or 37, 38? Draymond's up there. It's like, dude, that is a lot to ask for these guys to come back tonight. And Portland is one of the younger teams in the league. So, the best thing they ever did, I believe, was just like, hey, let's go all in on the young kids. And it really worked mid-season last year. They had a big run where I think they won like 11 or 12 games. If they didn't win outright, they won them against the spread, which is, of course, what we worry about. So we've seen this team be really good like that. So I kind of like that angle tonight. Any interest in these college football games tonight, Nick?
Who we got playing? Yeah, we got to go.
Your team,
baby. Come on.
I started to you.
There's a lot of points though. It's in Blacksburg. It's a very hard place to play and to go in and to try to get a win. Yeah, give me the Hokies. We'll do it. We'll lay the wood with the Hokies. I think they do bounce back here. It's a night game. Stadium's going to be rocking. California obviously got that nice win over North Carolina. Well, they got lucky on that one. Lucky. Yeah. Fumble. But I like Virginia Tech here at home. Lay the points. I think they get the job done here, Craig.
Robert, I always hate when teams like get a win that they shouldn't get, because if they lost, I'd probably be on Cal tonight. But it's like, now that they won, do they think, oh shit, we can play bad and still get lucky and win? What do you feel like in that game? I mean, Cal's been up and down. Like, we've seen them have some really nice wins, and we've seen them. What do you think of this team?
Real quick, take Golden State tonight if you want a free play, by the way. I know everything that you guys said. They don't play again until Monday after this, and they're just hot. They've beaten the Blazers like 9 straight times. The Blazers were kind of feisty against Minnesota, but Golden State, I mean, they're going to stack some wins, man. They know what they're doing this season. Okay,
injuries are going to be their thing.
I have a rated play on Virginia Tech. I like this spot for Virginia Tech, okay? I think that everything about the line is baiting you towards Cal, okay, because Virginia Tech's been so bad. Cal's been a little better than we thought. And here, look, we're giving you all these points. Virginia Tech is coming off a bye, if I'm not mistaken. They've had some coaching issues, obviously, okay, but they've had a chance to rally, implement whatever game plan and system that they want to do. There is talent on this roster. Remember, going into last season, just 18 months ago or 14 months ago, these guys were like, they were supposed to be what Georgia Tech is this year, right? Like that sleeper team, a potential sleeper team to win the ACC. It hasn't panned out that way, but it's not because they're just like some bumbling clown show like North Carolina where they just don't have players. Virginia Tech has some players. I do think they're going to be motivated at home. I do think they're going to be motivated on a Friday night. night game. I think it's difficult with Cal to make that long travel trip. I just think there's a lot of things pointing towards a very strong showing from Virginia Tech tonight. I like them to win. I like them to win by double digits.
And they have Enter Sandman on a night game. I'm just saying.
On the
like that's like, you know.
I do. I just feel like we're going to get the best of what Virginia Tech is, and that's still mediocre ACC team. Fine, no problem. But whatever they are, we're going to get the best of it tonight, and I think that's good enough to beat Cal.
All right, Nick, just real quick. As a Virginia Tech fan, the two names I keep hearing, obviously Shane Beamer coming from South Carolina over, which Shane hasn't had, or they haven't had the greatest season at South Carolina, so I don't know why they'd want. I know he's, you know, his dad obviously got that history. Also, James Franklin, I keep hearing his name from that area. Obviously, James Franklin's built everywhere he's getting. He just can't win the big game. But it's like, dude, I think Virginia Tech fans would take being one play away from playing the national championship. What do you think out of those two names?
I would love James Franklin to come to VT, but I do believe it's going to be Beamer. It's Frank Beamer's kid. He walks his bagel every morning around the stadium. He's going to come home. I'm telling you right now. It's going to be Beamer.
I don't think he is. I don't
think James Franklin would take that job.
I think
that is probably the issue. Like, I think James Franklin's shooting for a much bigger job. So, like, I don't think he'll take it. So you might end up with Beamer because James Franklin says no.
Why would Beamer leave South Carolina? Why would he leave the SEC and leave South Carolina for Virginia Tech? Other than the fact that his dad coached there. Yeah. And let's think about this for a second, okay? Yeah, but okay, my dad coached there. Don't you think that a guy wants to form his own legacy? Right? Like, don't you think he wants to do what his dad did, coach for 25 years and have a lot of success at one place, but not do it at the exact same school? Like, isn't there something to be said about that? I don't think he leaves. I think he stays in South Carolina and keeps building there. And the reason they're struggling this year is they lost their offensive coordinator. That's why. Their offense stinks because, you know, their coordinator took off and they just haven't been the same guy. And my prediction for James Franklin, I don't think he takes any job. I think that guy takes a studio job. I think he's on TV next year and he waits for like a better opportunity than what's going to be available this offseason.
If I'm James Franklin, here's what I do. I go to the biggest school that I think I can win a championship, and I say, listen, they're paying me. So instead of you don't need to pay me $1 million. They'll pay the difference. I'm going to get the difference from them. You take that savings
and buy me players. Yeah.
And buy me players. You do that for 3. I think he's got 3 more years of that. You're going to instantly be good if you get to a school that can attract those type of talents. So I think he could. That's a big thing that we haven't really seen that in coaching because we haven't seen a guy this big that got that much buyout be fired lately. So, and be like, he's still sought after. There's teams out there that would die to have James Franklin. I know it's not Penn State, and it's the new football. Once we spend money, teams spend money, they expect to win. They don't care if they were in the national championship last year. I mean, Ryan Day, as much as people around here, Ryan Day almost got fired after losing to Michigan last year. If he loses to Michigan again this year, they're going to have him on the hot seat again because that's just what schools do.
You're
crazy.
All right. Hey, look, give me a winner for Saturday in college football night.
College football winner? What about hockey today? We're
oh yeah, dude, we buried the lead. No, we buried the lead. I was talking about it on yesterday's show. San Jose, they finally got that win.
Yeah.
I was talking about underdogs that had a lot of value yesterday. I said San Jose. I said Pittsburgh. They both ended up winning their first win since March 23rd. I think it was. They had lost 15 straight games. The kick in the balls is that I bet them against the Islanders money line. I bet them to win in regulation. It was like plus 300, and I bet them plus 1.5. They won the 1.5. They didn't cover, but I'm like, these guys are going to win. Like, they're about to win. Did I bet them yesterday to win in regulation on the money line? No.
One game off.
I took them on the puck line. I took them plus 1.5, so they cashed that ticket. But God, that win in regulation probably would have been like plus 385 or something like that. Like, I'll tell you, I'll give you another free play. I took San Jose today because we've seen this before. Seriously, like teams go on big losing streaks. They finally break through and get that win, and then they win like 3 out of 4, 2 out of 3. Or
is it plus 2.5 even money or something like that? I think someone sent it to me like, hey, would you take plus 2.5 at minus 105? I'm like, dude, if you give me plus 2.5 in hockey,
yes,
it doesn't really matter.
All day.
I don't care who I'm taking.
All day.
like New Jersey's playing awesome. New Jersey is playing awesome. They've won 6 straight, but they also have a home and home with Colorado coming up on deck. So they just pasted Minnesota. They are cruising along on a winning streak. Like, how seriously do you think they're taking this game? Like, again, stranger things have happened, man. They knocked out the Rangers in New York. Not an easy thing to do. Like, they've been knocking on the door. They've had a bunch of 1-goal losses. It's hockey. Like, anything happens. And to Craig's point, if you're getting that much value, if you're getting plus 300 on a team to win, plus 450 to win in regulation, I took them today plus 1.5. I think it was like plus 110. Like, yeah, give me all the value, man. It's hockey. This stuff happens every night.
Yep. Yeah, I love that. I'm looking at this Toronto Maple Leafs and the Buffalo Sabres. This one's a tricky one here because it's minus 125 for the Toronto Maple Leafs. They just lost to the New Jersey Devils 5-2 at home, and they're on a 2-game losing streak here. Buffalo just got a nice win at home against the Detroit Red Wings there. They scored, I believe it was 4 or 5 goals in that one. That's been lacking on the Buffalo Sabres side. Is they're efficient to score here. They're averaging, I believe, like 2.7 goals per game, but I believe there's going to be a lot of goals scored in this one. What I saw at the Sabres last game against the Red Wings at home, and now this Toronto Maple Leafs team, they only scored two goals in their last game at home. They're a little bit better on the road here early on to start. I like this over 6.5 goals, and I lean towards the Maple Leafs in this game. I know it's public, but I lean towards the Maple Leafs to snap the 2-game losing streak. They're the superior team in this one, and they should win, but I think there's going to be a lot of goals in this one.
My 2-unit play today in hockey is Winnipeg. I like the under yesterday. That hit. They lose to Seattle. I think that Seattle team's better than what people give them credit for. I think they're better than what the odds suggested. They were like plus 170 or something like that. Underdog yesterday. I thought they were way better than that. But I like the under. It cashed yesterday. I think it's another low-scoring game, but I think Winnipeg bounces back here today. I do like them at home. I mean, they're still 5-2. The back-to-back spot always is a little worrisome, but I think that's why you're getting this value on the line. If they weren't a back-to-back spot, you probably having to lay an extra 20 on this one. So I like that Winnipeg in the back.
Hey,
on the regulation, I like them in regulation, actually.
A point on that too, you just mentioned that just triggered me to think of something about the back-to-backs. Remember, it's early in the season, so like in the NBA and NHL, like a team playing back-to-back or even playing 3 games in 4 nights, which is a big thing in hockey. Like, it's not going to have the same impact on teams now as it will in February or in January. Like, when you get into the grind of the season, you know, that's when it starts. And to go back about the Warriors, like, they're playing on back-to-back nights. They're playing their 3rd game in 4 nights. Like, get it? But it's the beginning. It's the first week of the season. Like, these guys have been not sitting around all summer, but like they have energy to burn. In situations like this, in the dog days of late December around the holidays or in February or something like that, that's when you see fluky things happen or teams start to rest guys or teams just not show up. But, you know, in hockey and in NBA, it's just not as big a deal early on in the season.
The NHL, it's a big deal.
Can we get an Indian cricket?
Yeah, I saw that. When you have to watch hockey, by the way, because a lot of times in back-to-back spots, they play the backup goalie. So I always wait when I'm betting hockey because all of a sudden you think you're getting a backup goalie, and then guess what? You get the starter back-to-back nights, and all of a sudden now the number's way off because the perception was, hey, they're playing the backup. So, and sometimes they announce it ahead of time. Sometimes they don't because they want to see how that first game goes. So just be a little selective when you're looking at hockey. Now, obviously, the NBA, sometimes they rest guys, obviously, altogether. But a lot of times, they're just playing the guys a little less minutes. The Warriors team is deep, I will say that. They did go out and add some depth around Curry, which, like, the Al Horford deal was like, that's perfect. That dude is, like, built to shoot threes, and, you know, he's a good passer, good defender.
He can do everything Draymond Green does without the attitude. Like, without the
and drama, he can shoot.
Without the drama of Draymond.
I think it allows Draymond to play a little less minutes, be a little more effective with, play more quality minutes instead of having to extend. I think it's perfect. And then last year, Post was getting a lot of play because he could shoot the pick and pop. He's like their 3rd center now, basically. And I think that's a perfect spot for him because when he comes in and you can play pick and pop like that, man, it really spreads the floor. So I really like what the Warriors have done. I'm interested to see if they can stay healthy, though. They're the oldest starting lineup ever in the NBA if they start Al Horford, which he might not start all the games, but if they go to that lineup, which it looks like they might come playoffs, they'll be the oldest lineup ever. Can they do it? I mean, who knows? Who knows? We don't see guys. It was like we never saw Tom Brady, a guy win past 40.
I was going to say your boy Joe Flacco, man. Your boy Joe Flacco did it.
Guys do it now because they stay in better shape.
Got a little more magic in them this week or what?
Dude, how do you lay points with that Bengals defense?
Right?
I was like, I've taken the team total over against the Bengals every game, and I think it's cashed all but one game. Like the Packers game, it looked like, this defense is pretty good. They allowed all the points in the fourth quarter and still went over. Last game, really good with Pittsburgh through three quarters. All set, all the points late again in that one. So
their secondary is so bad. And when Hendrickson doesn't play, like they got nothing.
If he doesn't put pressure, it has to be instant pressure from him because those guys can't hold up. And they basically just play so vanilla deep because they're trying not to just give up the big play. It's just like you could just nickel and dime them 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards, 10 yards. And all of a sudden, then they're not great against the run either. So it's not like they're unbelievable against the run. So
they can't.
All right, guys. Thanks again for joining me. Don't forget, if you have questions on college football Saturday, it's a good time to join us on 11 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Griffin and Lenny will be in tomorrow, I believe. So make sure you join in. It's a great show. It's a great back and forth if you have questions on the games. Of course, don't forget, if you want to get in our top plays, go over to the website. Robert has a 7-unit tonight. NBA, I have a 7-unit. Nick, I didn't ask you. What do you have big tonight?
CFL 7-unit. Got that tonight at 7 p.m.
All right. So there you have. All three of us have 7 units. Go over there under the BPA board, and you can check it. And it's that simple. Every day, go check us out over there.
Use the free 60 link to get both of their plays for free, and then buy mine. 360.
What a weasel. What a weasel. Hey, upset alert Saturday. Bold statement here. If LSU loses, Brian Kelly gets fired. Take LSU money line. Boom.
Okay. Funny that you say that, because when you were talking about James Franklin, in the back of my mind, I wanted to jump in and say, if LSU loses this weekend, does Brian Kelly get fired? Is that a possible spot for Franklin to come back in? Very sharp money that I know is on LSU and is on LSU big on Saturday. I'm not buying it, but some very smart people that I respect are on LSU big.
The effort that we've seen from this LSU at times is a little concerning. I'm not saying they've given up, but I think it's part of the problem now when you basically just buy teams. Like you're buying players, they just come in for 1 year. They're not as bought in. All of a sudden, things don't go right. They're the first ones to be like, okay, I'm just worried about my NBA or my NFL stock here, staying healthy. And not saying that's the case, but at times against Vanderbilt was the way more motivated team in that one. So I'm interested to see the Vanderbilt this weekend, obviously. They've played a couple. I mean, the SEC is just a brutal, like every week is so. Missouri, Vandy, this is a spot they have to win. You look at their schedule, Vandy has to win this game if they want
Diego Pavia for president of the Galaxy.
He was great.
If he wins this week,
he's awesome.
If he wins this week and has a good game, he's going to win the Heisman, I think. I really think he'll win the Heisman.
I don't think he's going to end up winning it, but I do think that he could end up on the short list. Like he could get a trip to New York, he will. But
if I was betting, I would take him and the kid from the Simpson kid from Alabama.
Yeah,
those two
from Alabama.
I think those two.
Week, let's have a conversation on the show next week about Julian Sayin and his rising odds on that. Like it sounds like a pipe dream, but look, he had a monster game last week. They're obviously the best team in the country. If they go undefeated and he continues to put numbers up, maybe. And the subplot of Pavia, he sued the NCAA to get this extra year. And then if he goes on to would they blackball him from the Heisman because of that? Like, fascinating.
It's such a great story, though. I think they're probably, like kids and programs that build into this, what we've seen, that means something. I do think college football likes that. And it's going to be such a great story. This is literally like a Disney story that the Vandy program built out, Pavia coming from where he did. And
yes, I want to see Indiana versus Vanderbilt in the playoffs. Like
Oh,
Indiana and Vanderbilt football are in the top 10. Like never in our lifetimes, man. Never in our lifetimes did we ever think that would be the case. Indiana Hoosiers, Vanderbilt Commodores are top 10 college football teams. It's great. And think about that every time you see those stupid commercials talking about like save our sport, like about the NCAA, like they want to pass. That law is crap. That is a sham. College football has never been better because the talent is more equally distributed right now. Like we are living in the heyday, and it is because of the NIL. NIL is awesome.
I like the NIL. I don't like the I can leave every year.
Agreed. I agree with.
I think they got to address the transfer portal.
One free transfer, second transfer, you have to sit out half of the season, maybe, or something like. There needs to be some kind of penalty for a second transfer. That I agree with you on. The transfer.
I love you had to when it used to be to get to transfer and not sit out, you had to graduate. I would love that. If like, okay, the first time is okay. If you want to graduate as like a graduate transfer, okay, you don't sit out then, because these kids then become like they got to do the work.
Look, man, I'm telling you right now, I'm prepping for college basketball, right? Which is 10 days out. We are 10 days from college basketball. Dude, I can't
week
even
from Tuesday, is that right? Is that week from Tuesday or week from Monday?
A week from Monday. I cannot even tell you how different this year is going to be. It is unbelievable. Like I am looking at all these mid-major programs, right? And normally in the MAC or in the OVC or in the Sun Belt, you know who's going to be good, right? Like this team brought back 4 or 5 starters. Dude, they're gone. You look at the Big Sky, I think like 8 out of the 10 teams in the Big Sky brought back 1 or 0 starters. Yeah. I've never seen that before in my life. I'm looking at all these mid-major rosters because that's where value is early in the season, right? Is on the San Jose States and the Weber States and stuff like that. Like, I have no idea. I have no idea because this team brought back 0 starters and has 10 new guys. I've never seen anything like it. It's wild in college football, but like the cores of all these teams pretty much came back, right? Except for with a few exceptions. In college basketball, it is not like that. Like everybody's gone. It is going to make for a really weird November.
Oklahoma's Sampson and Calipari both have said it right. It's transactional now. It's like you come here one year, you go somewhere else next year, you go somewhere else the year after. It's like, dude, that can't go on. It's bad for football. It's terrible for basketball.
It's terrible for basketball because in football, you got 80 guys on the roster anyway, and you have 22 starters. With basketball, you're only playing like 7 guys. So, like, you have 5 new guys. How do we know? I don't know. It's going to be a mess, dude. It is going to be.
I think there are going to be a lot less veteran coaches that stick around because they're just not going to put up with this. Like, once it becomes hard for them, they're going to be like, I mean, we already seen it. Coaches stepping away. I mean, Bruce Pearl. I don't think he steps away if it wasn't so much difficult to stay at the top of.
I just think he wanted to give his kid the job. I think that.
Well, I think he was going to do that either way. That his kid wasn't going anywhere else. But it's like I think he would have stayed around for a few more years because he could build and keep a program. It's just impossible now. Kids are just even when they play well for you, someone else is going to be willing to pay them more money. You have to outbid everybody at every given year. That's impossible to go. I don't care what program you're SEC, Big Ten, ACC. You can't pay them every year.
Last year, I had one of my best college basketball seasons ever, like was up almost plus 14,000. Remember, that was the last year of the COVID kids, right? Like we knew who everybody was. We knew who all these guys were because we had seen them for years. Like going into this season, I'm like, I don't know, man. This is going to be a completely different year. And us as professionals, we're going to have to be very nimble early on in the season adjusting to things because there's just not a clear path for a lot of these teams.
Less is more at this start of this college basketball season more than ever before because, I mean, there's just not a whole lot of – the unknown is bigger than ever before. And it used to be like the freshmen, these big-name freshmen. And it's still that, the Dukes of the world, the Arkansas, the Kentuckys, they're still going to get those really big blue chippers, the one and done, the Cooper Flag type players. But the big transfer, the kid that doesn't go to the NBA because he's going to be maybe a late second round pick, and he's going to make $2.5 million playing in a transfer role at BYU, at Kentucky. Like that's going to be the new thing going forward, and it's going to be fun to watch. So, all right, guys, don't forget, get in on that free 60 right here. We'll see you again tomorrow at 11 o'clock. Thanks, boys, for having to join on with me, and good luck to everybody. Hope your bets are winning ones. NBA big card tonight. Make sure you get in. Good luck.